Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome to Aurora 4X, the incredibly in-depth, frustratingly, amazingly so, space strategy game. We have a little bit of industrial buildup in Sol. We finally have a civilian company that's helping out, taking people away from Earth and dumping them onto the Jovian moons. So, a few things. Firstly, let us load up our galactic map. We have a bit more detail going on now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 systems we've actually surveyed in only the last, really, like 4 years? So, pretty fast. However, Lewis, which has been a bit of an issue, we're going to have to make a decision on, and I think the right call here is that there isn't anything interesting in Lewis for us to capitalize on other than potentially an incredibly hostile fleet or two, because whatever the hell is murdering the dozens of ships that are coming through this jump point could potentially be quite hostile to us, and the Radiant is not equipped to detect that ship. The way we'd know about it would be if we just get murdered. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the radium to come back. And we will go to... where's a good place for us to start off? Subject Delta. Because there is an unexplored jump point here, or actually 3 unexplored jump points. We also are working on a mine layer, which is currently being built. Wrong one. That one. And that's going to be built end of 55, September 55. Okay. We will load you up over here. We also have new missile tech being worked on, and that'll be done early mid 55. So that'll give us a little bit of time to start producing those missiles that will go into the mine layer. But for now, we'll want to have a look at specifically the kind of population problem we have, in that we have a load of stuff to do and our population is 17 million short. Now, the actual moons of Jupiter that we've put people on have people available, and we keep shipping more people over, and I know we probably shouldn't, etc. Oh, Titan's actually a little bit short here. Okay. What we'll probably want to do is at this stage, we're going to say, Earth, be stable. I do not let people get colonists from here, but also do not ship colonists to here. We're going to let the Jovian moons grow up by themselves. So we're putting a kind of embargo on that. We're also going to go to Lewis. And we are going to... sneeze? Or not sneeze? Okay, fine. Okay, we will sneeze. Right. Sorry about that. We're going to go to miscellaneous, and we're going to say this is a military restricted system. And we're going to block auto route movement through it. Right now, Lewis is just a little bit too hot for us. Also, with Sol, we are going to switch Sol to demand leave with threat, because that's our home system. And if anyone wanders in, we kind of want to be like, go now. This is too dangerous having you here. Maybe if there were Xenos races in other systems, we could talk to them. But if they get into Sol, we've seen what they can do in Lewis. They have hundreds of guns. So let's start fast forwarding time. Okay, we found the new system of slaying hurdle. Wow. Okay. 3 planets. The third of which is a super Jovian, with a whole bunch of moons. Like, there are 23 moons. In total, 6 pretty habitable places, near habitable, and 18 that are low gravity, but near habitable. This is potentially a very interesting one. There's also the secondary star, because this is a trinary, which, again, has 2 near habitable worlds, one of which actually has a pretty reasonable atmosphere, which is a little bit low for us, though. And then the third star is boring. Unfortunately, just 1 planet. It does have a CO2 sulfur dioxide atmosphere with a high pressure and very high temperature, but this is a very interesting system. We might actually have a use to this. Right. Now the question is, yeah. It's 6 billion kilometers just to the jump point. To get out to here is going to be 126 billion. This is that's the third star, the one that's not of much use because it's only got the one planet. This is the second star. And this is the Super Jovian over here with the 23 moons. Oof. Okay, I really hope there's something cool here. Where are you on the map? Here. Right, Subject Delta, we're probably going to need to do some sort of fancy map moving because that's got more jump points to deal with. Oh well. For now, this is fine. Okay, we just finished production of the commercial shipyard complexes. I will probably want to color you. I'm going to say yellow. It's not different enough, actually. What about orange? A bit too dark. Can we get like a brighter orange? I guess it'll kind of do. Right. So, Earth. Population's getting worse. Okay. We finished our commercial shipyard complexes. I think we're going to go for deep space tracking stations, and we'll probably want about 20 of those. Now, the benefit of deep space tracking stations is that they aren't actually manned. Like, they're just automated. They just feed us data back. So we can build 20 of them and then pop them around in some of the systems that we're interested in. And if not, we can just leave them around our own solar system so we have good coverage. The only question is how are we going to deal with our population problems. It might be time to ramp down construction factory because that's using a lot of people. Yeah, the construction factories have kind of hit like a very nice stage, but I think we will ramp them down a little bit. So we're going to go down to 40. Shame. That gives us 10% left. We do need to up our research, and I know that does take people as well, but what the hell. We're also going to want to get ground force construction complexes going, and we have... How many do we have at the moment? 4. I tend to make each like sub-unit like 5s and stuff, so we can add 1 to that, but we'll probably want to do batch construction, so I'll say minimum we're looking for like 6. Okay, we just got our maximum engine power modifier 1.75. I really kind of need the 2 here, but that will be 4,000 more research, which is going to take quite a lot of time. There is a certain stage at which I think we just have to accept that maybe we're going to have to make do. As much as I'd like the 2 times, because that will mean that with a missile you can go for 4 times power. Missiles can be twice as powerful. Because you're not like making an engine that's going to last, right? You're making an engine that's going to go for a short period of time and then explode. So you can make them twice as powerful. As much as I would like to, it's going to take too long to really be useful for this batch of missiles. Missiles. It might be useful for the next batch of missiles, but not this one. So we're going to go ion drive technology and just start working on that. It is going to take time, but we're okay with this. And ion drive should be ready in 2060. Yeah, that's pretty acceptable. And then we should see the levitated pit explosion. Levitated pit implosion warhead, sorry. Done. Do we want to work on another one? We probably want to work on something. I think that's probably going to be missile launcher. Like, when we start to actually build missile ships, we'll want the missile launcher. So, yeah. We will lower the priority, though, to 4. And with those spare research labs that we can put them onto, say, ion drive tech. And troop transport bay. Terraforming module. Yeah. There we go. So, with that, I believe we've everything we need for our missiles. We're going to start building missiles now. Now, this is going to get a little bit into complex territory for our first missile, because we are building a mine and not just a plain old missile. So it's going to get a little bit weird. Right. The way we're going to do this is we're going to have a primary missile. And then we're going to have the thing the missile sits in, well, it sits on the jump point until it can detect an enemy, and then it fires the missile. Now, I won't actually do this because Aurora 4X is bugged at the moment, but I can, using some hacks, make it fire. If you're at home and you're playing Aurora and you're playing on this version, or you're playing on a version that's different, you know, lower, don't really bother with mines unless you're desperate and you know how to edit the database like I can. If you're playing on a newer version of Aurora, check the bug's been fixed, because it probably hasn't. So, with that said and done, I'm going to open our good old friend a4xcalc.jar, and we're going to go over to our missile optimizer. So, our missile tech right now is pretty trash. We have improved nuclear pulse, fuel efficiency, that's fine. Everything else seems to be correct except for sensor strength, which I think was on 12. And the reactor, which is a gas-cooled fast reactor. Okay, great. So, we're going to have to make a missile. In fact, we're going to make 2 missiles. The first missile is going to be the one that fires at whatever the target is. Now, normally missiles ride your missile fire control and your active sensors from your ship to hit the enemy. There won't be a ship there other than the enemy, because we're going to leave the mines and then we're going to leave and go do other stuff. So they need their own active sensor. So we're going to say, hey, have an active sensor. 0.25 is the minimum. Whenever I, click optimize here, if I put 0.2 in, you'll see that active sensor here just disappears. It seems to be that 0.25 is like the minimum size you can have for an active sensor. Now, this will detect at a range of 1.3 million kilometers. And I believe the resolution's 20, which is a hull size of 1,000 tons. So what it's saying is, I will see objects of 1,000 tons at this range. Okay, that's great. But you know what we could do? To get a little bit more range out of the sensor, we could pump this up, and we could be like, okay, what if we want to look for something like 5,000 ton vessel? Well, then you can, with the same size sensor, find them at 2.2 million. That's a lot better, right? Yeah. I'm thinking 2.2 million is probably fine. Like, that's good enough range on the jump point to be able to find the enemy. So this is just for the base missile. This isn't for the shell. This is for the actual thing that will get fired. It needs an active sensor. This is the minimum size. We could fiddle with the resolution, but ultimately I'm probably going to say this is fine unless we get like much smaller craft coming in. And even if they do come in at smaller craft, it means we'll just see them, but a much, much closer range. It's an exponential curve. So we'll probably see them at something along the lines of like 400,000 kilometers. Oh, probably far less than that. Anyway, the missile size is going to be, I'm thinking 12 for this, because we have a missile launcher of size 14 on the state class. So, desired minimum range. Well, if we're detecting them at 2 million, we probably want to have a range that's not a lot longer than that. Like, we'll need to chase enemies if they do leave the range, but I'm going to say 5. Warhead strength. Now, because of the way that penetration works in Aurora, you want this to be, ideally, it doesn't have to be, but you kind of want it to ideally be a square number. 4, 9, 16, 25, etc. And the reason is because the way it works in Aurora is you have armor. And armor is basically, hey, you've got one layer of armor. Okay, you've got a layer of boxes. You've got 2 layers of armor, so you've got 2 layers of boxes. Okay, you've got 5 layers of armor, 5 boxes, all running along the length of your ship. And the size of your ship determines how many wide your boxes will be, but the armor, strength is the depth of the boxes, if that makes sense. Damage from different weapons has a different profile. Missiles is pretty simple. If you've got 1 point of damage, it will damage 1 box on top. And then next one that comes in will hit maybe a different box or a different box. Or if it is going to hit the same box, it will pass through because the armor is destroyed and hit the box below. Of course, that's 1 damage. If you have 4 damage, it will go 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one will be on the 2nd row. Now, there's actually a much better infographic. I'm not going to pull that up. This is just me quickly going over it. But the idea is that you will assign damage to further in armor by using a square number. And if your damage goes past the armor, you will hit internal components and damage them. So we want a square number to get the main kind of bang for our buck. There we go. Right. So our warhead strength is 4 per unit. So to get a 9, we're looking at using a 2.25 warhead size. Okay, so with a 12 size missile, 2.25 is warhead. That's not huge. What are we looking at here for speed? With our tech, this speed is pretty reasonable. It's not great. I know that, hey, this is much faster than our ships, but our warheads kind of need to hit things. You'll notice that we have a to hit chance here. This is mainly, not entirely, mainly based on how fast you're going. If the enemy's going 1 kilometer, 1,000 kilometers per second, it's almost 300% chance of hitting them. If they're going 3,000 kilometers per second, it's a little less than 100. If they're going 5,000 kilometers per second, it's a little less than 60%. And it drops precipitously from there. Now, the question is, can we manage to get this up to a 16? I think that is worth it for the drop-off. Yeah, I think that's worth it for the drop-off, because that's almost double the damage, and the hit chance hasn't halved, so that is acceptable. The range is actually 8 million. Yeah, sure. Now, I will just double check. What if we go 25? Yeah, that 5,000 kilometer bit is the bit that starts to bug me here. I don't really like to go less than 50% on this, but we are very early. Our tech is very early. We're using, early engines. Our missile agility, which helps you to hit, is also pretty low. Yeah. This, I think, we'll have to do, and we will probably want to use probably the first option in the list here. Okay. So, simple enough. We're going to start copying some of the data that this program has recommended in to make our missile. That's how this works. So, for a start, we know that we want a missile size of... it's down here. Warhead size, 4. So, 4. Fuel capacity is 0.2295. Agility, 3005. Reactor. Well, that will be done automatically. You don't have to enter that, because that will be in response to whatever needs power, which will be active sensors. We don't need thermal, EM. We're going with the active. The resolution is good. Okay, the only thing we need here is an engine. Now, the engine size is actually 7.1. However, that would make that more than 12. Did I enter something wrong? Well, we'll do the engine nonetheless. We're going to go for engine size of 7.1. Nope, that's fine. And I believe the power is maximum percentage. Yeah. And this is saying, hey, we've got a range of just over 8 million. Okay. I like it. I think this is reasonable. Now, this is actually going to be the inner missile. We actually need a shell. So, we're going to start with giving you a name. This is by Lindelf. They're the ones that make our missiles, which is amusing. We're going to call you... I actually need to come up with a name for you, because Adelaide is, you know, fine. I think we can come up with a better name. We're going to call you the Sword. And then ASM for anti-ship missile. 12, which is the size. And then I tend to put down both the warhead strength, which is 16, and then the range, which is 8 million. Just so that I have the data to look at when I'm like, hey, what's this missile do? So we're going to instant this. But I have had issues with instanting missiles before, so I'm actually going to hit create. Funny as that might be. Close that. Bring up our research. Go to missiles kinetic. And there we go. And I'm going to instant it from here. Now, bring back up the missile. And here we go. Again, you might be saying, well, what are we going to do here? We're going to get rid of everything. Just completely zero this. I'm going to say you've got no engine. But then, I would like you to have a sensor on board. The resolution is fine. And by ticking no engine, we've kind of done away with that. And then I would like 1 Lindelf Sword ASM. And the separation range, which is in... This is in thousands. So we want the separation range to be... 2.267. So just fractionally less than the resolution on the sensor. Okay, those match. Second stage is the sword. Now, this missile size is actually not a lot bigger. We did make them big enough to take a 14 size missile in the launchers, and this is actually only 12.37. We could do some stuff here, like we could be like, right, let's put a thermal sensor in, and we're like, you know, big thermal sensor. How big would we actually go on this? Like, pretty chunky? We could start getting data on ships that come through by analyzing the thermal signature of their drive, etc. this way. But ultimately, this is going to be cheaper, not putting anything extra. Yes, you can put a smaller missile into the actual bigger launch bay. This is fine. And we are going to then just name it. And we're going to name it, because this is going to be developed by the same company, because it's designed as a group. We're not use the sword separately. It's not really worth it. It's going to be... M just for mine, and then 13. I always round up to the nearest one. M13, 16, 8, M. That's the range at which it's to be used, and the warhead size inside of it. And we'll actually call you the sheath. So the sheath contains the sword gets launched. I think we're all good here. Okay, and then we're going to create. We're going to pop over to here. We're going to instant that. And now we're going to go to our industry, ordnance, and say, hey, I would like to make sheath. And I would like to make... How is it? 32 go into the mine layer. So we probably want to make, 96. And we'll say we want everyone to be working on that. Now, ordnance is different from construction. Like, you don't actually construct using the same queue. This is a separate queue. So we have 100% of our ordnance like capability working on these. And they'll be done by mid next year. That's pretty nice. Okay. So, with that said and done, we're actually going to pop over to our mine layer. And how many box launchers do you have? 32 of them, yes. I was right there. We're going to go to the ordnance and fighters, and I'm just going to say, hey, 100 add sheaths. And it'll be like, okay, I'm going to get 36 in. 36? I thought you said 32. Oh, no. Wait, what? Okay, I'm going to need to drill down into this. Wide of view, 32. Why can I put 36 missiles in here? Oh, it must be calculating based on, like, we don't use up the full size of the box launcher, so technically you can put 4 more in somehow, except... Because it's calculating, like, maybe trying to calculate the, like, the magazine size, except there is no magazine size. It's separate box launchers. 32. Okay. The other 4 wouldn't be able to be fired. Again, we can't really fire our box launchers after firing them the first time. We have to go back and we have to refit, so... it's not helpful having 4 more missiles. Right, we're going to close you. And we're going to move on. Did we reassign the research? We did, didn't we? Yes. Okay. Any new things that are made, like new research labs, will assign to the iron drive by using that. Oh, the Greys have completed orders. Right. Greys. You're very slow, but you still have purposes. Oh god, the worker shortage is getting worse. Okay, I've got some available workers. Okay, Grey, shift some financial centers. No, shift mines. I'm going to start doing that. Pick up the mines. And then go to IO, unload, refuel resupply. And let's double check. How many people does it take to use a mine? Mine. 0.05 mil. We have 400,000 people, so we could potentially do that, 8 times? Obviously 10 is the easier number, so we're gonna aim for 10. We have 5, so doing 2 trips is the right way to do this. Okay, so repeat orders. And that'll be the first off-world mining that's actually been done by people as opposed to our auto miners. Sure. Money's still positive, so that's nice. We should probably go over to our, not civilian economy, Earth and shipyards. We do have these spare shipyards. We're going to start expanding you to, I want to say, 42,000. That tends to be where I'm aiming for my freighters. And then we're going to go to like 25. Have a smaller shipyard as well. The one that's been building the Sapphire Ebonies, I think we'll go up to something like 85. And we'll also want to start expanding again on our military ones, because they are pretty desperate in terms of, like, we need a military. That was one of the conditions of our current government. Not 40,000, that would be a lot. No, we were actually going to do Dracos. We were going to make bigger. Right, because it's closer to being done. Sure, okay. For the rest of you, Pistotar, I had another slipway. Everything else is fine. Okay, the future planets just completed their orders. They've got a pretty simple-ish job right now, which is to just go grab more infrastructure. We've got 2,000 of it, so we'll go send that out. We have population supported by infrastructure is probably need to be raised on Callisto. Maybe Io. Okay. So, Earth. Load installation, and we'll start sending out more infrastructure. Okay, we discovered a new system. The system of Ice Lord. Right, what is here? A nitrogen methane world. Potentially colonizable. It has 5 planets, 24 moons, 42 asteroids. Okay. A few ice sheets as well. Very suitable for Ice Lord. Right, well, we're gonna, again, I think, leave that to explore. Okay, our scientist Alexandra Mapulon has been killed in an accident. They were the commandant of the Earth Academy. Oof. Okay. Who do we want to put in charge of the Earth Academy for training new people? Because this is going to kind of determine what type of people we're going to get more of. I think we need some good administrators. That's one of the things we've been having issues with. Having some good civilian administrators will certainly help. So, I think we find someone who's like nice political reliability. Everyone's 0. Okay, that's because I have that turned off. Logistics. Sure. And I would like to look at Academy Commandant. I don't know what level we need to be in charge of. It's an A2 grade. Okay. Right. Well, let's limit us to minimum A2s. Gloria Ramtamtam. Production, mining, terraforming, wealth creation, logistics. You're actually pretty good. The only downside for you is you don't have population. Results orientated, aggressive, and inconsiderate. That seems like someone who'd be in charge. You know what? Yeah, sure. Gloria Ramtamtam. You're now commandant of the Earth Academy. Right. The stake has been built. I'm just gonna do that. That frees up the log. So we have the stake. We're going to detach. We're also gonna turn on your active sensors. Do you have active sensors? Like I assume you do. I think we gave you active sensors. Yeah, there we go. Right. We should also check ammo, 88%. So you don't have a full ammo load. We can check transported items, 32. Oh, right. Okay. It's saying, hey, we could have 6 more, but you can't. Like, that would be weird. Right. Let's go in here, go to ship combat, and you'll see that we have 32 launchers and 32 missiles. We're going to auto-assign fire control. That assigns all of our launchers to fire control. And then it also assigns missiles to that. So now we have ourselves our mines. They're set up. What we're going to do is we're going to have the stake go to one of our jump points. It's going to be the jump point to Vulgaris, because that's the run I'm kind of worried about. We're going to move to location. Now, typically, you'd want to use launch-ready ordnance, which would say, hey, when you get to this location, fire whatever you have in your launcher. This is bugged. What will happen is that you will fire it, and then it'll instantly disappear because it doesn't have a target. Currently, if a target is set to 0 on a missile, the missile will just pop out of existence. So don't do that, because that will fire a non-targeted missile. So we're going to go to the jump point to Vulgaris. We're not going to go through it. We're just going to go to the jump point. And that's going to take us 9.6 days. Again, the slowest of our military vessels. Right. Alright, stake has completed orders. Let us go. to here. So, we're now sitting on top of a jump point. The way we're going to launch our missiles and yet still have them targeted is we're going to go to waypoints and we're going to put down a waypoint. So I'm just going to zoom really far out because I never really want to see this waypoint ever again. We're going to click normal waypoint and I'm just going to place it like down here. And that's now our waypoint. Done. Ooh, maybe we should make a delete waypoint. Maybe we should make it named. Named waypoint. And then we're going to call you Missile Dummy. Great. Right, we're going to go forwards 5 seconds just to make sure it's propagated, because by going forwards, you kind of update all the windows. We're going to go to our stake, ship combat, and then see potential targets includes a waypoint. Now, typically, this is used to fire a missile towards a waypoint. Like, so you want to fire a sensor missile in system, you can fire it towards a waypoint or something. We're going to use this to give our mines a target so they don't just disappear. Obviously, they don't have an engine, so they're just going to sit on the jump point. See? Simple. And now we're going to say, okay, open fire. I'm actually going to put a save in here just in case, because it is kind of a very buggy situation. It's possible I can screw this up. And there we go. And we have dropped 32 Lind Elf Sheath M13 16-8M, targeting the missile dummy point. Great. Let's cease fire, or we would have a slowdown because it would be saying, hey, I'm looking for a target, I'm trying to fire. We're going to then tell the stake, good job, go back to Earth, refuel, resupply, load ordnance, and also begin an overhaul. I don't know if we actually have those missiles just sitting around. Yeah, we've got 6. We need more than that. But we have now defended the Vulgaris jump point. Admittedly not incredibly well. 32 missiles is a good amount, but they aren't the most advanced. They aren't the most likely to hit. Their warhead is reasonable. They are pretty big. But if one ship comes through, they could do something. If multiple ships come through, we're in trouble because you can only target as a group. And that would mean we'd be saying, hey, okay, we target with 32 missiles. We can't separate that into 2 groups of 18, etc. You can only assign a target per fire control, and this is a fire control's worth of missiles, even though we're not using the fire control now. So unfortunately, we're probably going to need to do that a few more times. But for now, that will help. If anyone does come through the jump point, we can fire the missiles at them. And by that, I mean I can go into the database and make them be fired because they're bugged. So, okay, we have Duncan Orr on Whipple, which is sending us some stuff now. That's nice. What are you producing over here, Duncan? Is it duranium? Oh no, a few different things. Mostly thorium. Interesting. Do we have a thorium problem? Not massively, although it is our it's our second most used. It's our second least stockpiled, I think is the better way of putting it. Yeah, we'll need to do something about that. Projected to last maybe like 40 years, etc. Oh god, I've just noted uranium. Our projected usage is almost 100,000. Our stockpile's lower than that, and we don't have... Well, our production is 10,000, but oof. Yeah. Well, IO's got some, and we did shift a few over there. So we have some of our mines now shifting stuff from IO to us. That's a bit of help. Either way, we have ourselves a beam fire control. So we can start working on new tech for that. I want to say we probably want to start working on like the next level of beam fire control instantly. Whoa! Whoa! We have just encountered alien life. Live alien life as opposed to dead alien life, which seemed to be a repeat experience. Unique fossil. That's only 2 jumps away. Okay. This fleet here, they're moving fast, like over 5,000 kilometers per second. That's definitely a military engine. We've given them all nicknames. Let's have a look at the system. It does have a lot of terrestrial planets. Okay. Do any of you have an atmosphere that would potentially be, like, vaguely livable? You can't really breathe nitrogen CO2. It does have liquid, and the temperature is only a little bit below freezing. Vesuvian, you can't live on that. Helium hydrogen, you can't live on that. Potentially this could be somewhere that they live and we've bumped into them, but it could also just be the case that we've bumped into a patrol out in the wild. Let's see. Unique fossil aliens. Hello. 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 Okay. We are attempting to communicate. We'll consider them neutral for the moment. I believe that was the policy of the current government, that the THC were going to say, be ready to defend ourselves, but treat all Xenos as neutral or friendly until proved otherwise. So, as it stands, we're going to let them do their thing. Oh, they just opened fire on us. And we've had our engine taken offline. The Suburgium has been attacked with missiles. Incredibly fast missiles. Wow. 70,000 kilometers per second. And there's a new salvo coming our way at 35,000 kilometers per second. 21 hits, 15 were taken on the armor, 6 penetrating. The gravitational sensor was destroyed. The engine was destroyed. The jump drive was destroyed. The fuel storage was destroyed. The geological survey sensor was destroyed. 21 people died, and there are more missiles incoming. Suburgium. Abandoned ship. Abandoned ship. That's the armor, by the way, the boxes I was talking about earlier. Yeah, there's no way we get this back online. There are missiles incoming at us, so... There is a way for me to tell you to abandon ship. I can't remember where it is. I don't tend to use it. We got 71 crew off, and Commodore Isabella Borealis and Sir Alexa Seraph. They will survive for 14 days in those pods. However, will we be able to get them? Damn it. Will we be able to get them? That's the question. Like... Ugh. This is also only 2 jumps away from Sol. Those missiles were very advanced. We really need more data. Right, okay. Thinking. Where is the jump point into the system? That's our unknown jump point. That's the one we took in from Strategist. So we need to come in here. Who do we have in the vicinity? You wouldn't make it there in time. The life pods have only got 14 days worth of life support. It would take you 60. And that is mostly because of how far away this jump point is, I believe. Yeah, like we're looking at a 5 billion kilometer journey just from that jump point in the system. Okay. Sadly, our first contact with an actual functioning alien race, you know, ships intact, and we are instantly fired upon with some pretty powerful missiles. I think we need to start working on our anti-missile tech. I'm going to pop over here and I'm going to say, let's block military restricted. And we're also going to say the controlling race is going to be the unique fossil aliens. And we kind of need a better name than that. Admittedly, that's the name of the system we met them in, but we can rename them. We're going to rename them as the Fossilites. The abbreviation is going to be FOSS. Okay, we worked on wealth generation, which pretty handy considering everything that's happened. I'm going to pop over to construction production, and then our next one, considering we're going through our Saurium fast-ish, although not urgently fast, it might be worth going for the Saurium harvester, but also mining production will help. I'm thinking that mining production is going to be a useful one. It's going to increase it from 12 to 14 tons per mine. Yeah, we'll go with that one, and we will assign Bernardo Borealis. Like that. Good alliterative name. And we will keep that at 5. Yeah. Yeah, this is a rough opening. We'll also have a quick look and see if our stockpile has plenty of missiles. It does. So we're going to ask the stake, hey, would you mind, like, just loading ordnance? Completed orders. Ammo's at 80%, which is what we want. This time we're going to say go to the jump point to strategist. Just in case. That's a bit of a journey. This is our furthest jump point, so... Okay, you're now stationed at strategist jump point. We also have complete production of our missiles, and I believe the Silver was complaining about not having anything to do. Yeah, go through one of the unexplored jump points, which would be closer. One would be, okay. Right, well, I think we're going to need more missiles, so... Yeah, let's get ourselves more sheath, and I think we go for another 96. Okay, anyone else unable to... we should probably make sure that is highlighted, unable to do your order, because that is one that we need to then reassign. So, text color... I'm going to say unable to do your order is going to be like a pink. And then we'll go to the stake. Strip combat. Still got the missile dummy targeted. We're going to say open fire fleet. We're going to ceasefire. And yep, we now have missiles sitting there. Okay, great. Please come back to Earth and do your thing. Okay, new system, the Hoyle. Oh. Hello. This is almost livable. There's too much carbon dioxide in the air, and there needs to be more oxygen. But other than that... Oh, and the temperature's too low. But... it's also 100% ice sheet. Yeah, we might need to remove some water or something. But, close. 4 planets, 16 moons, 78 asteroids, 6 comets. It's a quaternary system again. The third star also has 4 planets. So look at you. None of which are particularly habitable. 33 moons. Yeah, this could potentially be a pretty fun system. How far is it out to here? Not very far at all, actually. Only 4 billion kilometers. That's inside the first jump point in the Sol system. This is pretty decent. And that's a Lagrange point. Is there a Lagrange point in here? No. Okay. I was hoping there was a Lagrange point down here that we could use to jump up here, but there isn't. Well, this is actually quite a nice setup. Meanwhile, we'll keep working on the shipyards. Pastota, I want you to kind of get to at least 5. We finished the production of mines on Earth. Okay. Well, I guess we can give 10% back to construction factories, and then the 5%... What do I want to put the 5% on? Spaceport will mean faster unloading and stuff on Earth. I think we'll do that. Get 2 of them. Spaceports are basically, I believe they are ordnance transfer facilities, refueling stations, and cargo shuttle stations all rolled into one. Much more expensive and much larger, but they do decrease the time it takes for people to transfer stuff. Much like having shuttles on your ships, they help out with that. I think, how many do we have? Spaceport. Yeah, we have 1. So by adding 2 more, we should be speeding up quite a bit. You know what? I like that being a square number. Make it 3. Okay. We also have Ordnance Possible. The Thulium is bored. Alright, Thulium, where are you? You're in Idril. 1, 2, 3 jumps away. We could go for that 4th jump. Yeah, sure. Wait. You haven't fully surveyed Idril. Why is that? It's at 34%. Oh, 100%. There we go. Yeah, again, I just need to update the display. Right, future plans have done their order. I think we can then go check on the stake again. Yep, you've got ammo. We could drop mines defending us against Mr. Grey, but we know there are hostile aliens down towards Strategist. Like, they have destroyed one of our ships and killed our crew and then left them to die in life pods. So I think we're probably going to need to go to that jump point again. Move to location and we'll do the whole thing again. Do we have a lot of infrastructure on Earth? 9,000. Okay. Okay, we found the new system of Yabu. And the rhodium is complaining that it's done. Right, let's look at Yabu. What are you all about? Yabu has 7 planets, 27 moons, 20 asteroids, 3 near-habitable planets. That's impressive. This one here has ice fields. Is ice fields. That's the terrain type. The ice sheet is 66%. The pressure is 0.2. Okay, this is interesting. We can potentially make some of this work. Right, rhodium. You are in the Neltab system, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps away. I don't really want to go beyond 4 jumps right now, so we're actually going to leave that jump point unexplored. We're going to come back to Zanmar, and we're going to go through the other unexplored jump point in Zanmar. Okay, we've just detected the fossilites again in Dracon. And missiles headed our way. Oh dear. Okay, there's nothing we can really do at this stage. Sadly, it looks like the cesium is going to be murdered yet again by this very aggressive alien race. What we will do is we're going to switch you to control of the fossilites. And we're also going to go to miscellaneous and we'll block military restrict. Missile mineral search flag. Yeah, that's goodbye, cesium. Boom. Even if we did try to get to them, it's a pretty large journey. We're talking almost 5 billion kilometers, and there's enemies in the area. We're not going to make it. Sadly, again, another loss for our exploration craft, which kind of sucks. The Sophie set have lost 2 of their number. And also we now have even more proof of the fossilites being a threat. This is going to end today's episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed. We have another just over 3 years before the next election, where I'm sure that xenological life and the aggressive nature of aliens will probably be a pretty big hot topic. Like, subscribe, comment down below, follow the links and stuff that we have to go check the setup video or to go look at the Discord and get involved with all politics fun, etc. For now, we're going to continue mining the systems and just hoping, because we are in a little bit of trouble if people come towards us. For now, stay shiny.